What up, everyone? This is the Twice Over Film Club, and I'm your host, Faraz. Today, we wrap up the Best Picture nominees at the Oscars with The Father. By the time you're listening, the Oscars have already happened, but this episode was recorded at an earlier time. Remember to check out all of our episodes on all the nominees. This is our preview for The Father, so there's no spoilers, and our full discussion will be out next week. Alright, for this, it's myself, Fahad, and Yusuf.
Good cadence.
Thank you. I've been practicing.
For the 3, 2, 1, go?
Yeah, apparently Farn was complaining that I don't go timely cadence. I guess cadence is the only word I can think of too.
All right. That seems like a typical Farhan thing to complain about. It's like you're not saying it right.
It only happened once, I think.
So we're doing The Promising Young Woman, right?
You finally watched it?
No, but I'm ready to BS it.
No, we're doing the other paradigm now. We're doing The Father, which is literally the opposite of that movie. So.
Oh, I forgot to watch The Father.
Oh.
Which fits in perfectly with the theme of the movie, right?
You know the theme, huh? Okay. Fahad and Yusuf, what's up, guys?
What's up?
Oh, hi. Sorry.
Are you looking for your watch?
I think somebody stole my watch actually. So, I'm a little bit. I'm sorry. What day is it?
What time is it?
We're making a joke of like a serious issue.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Anyway, all right, guys. Welcome, everyone. We're going to be talking about The Father today. It's the last film of the nominated Best Picture nominees at the Academy Awards. It was also hardest to come by because it only recently became available.
This one is I was excited to watch this because it's like a 90-minute film, and I was just like, oh, how nice. Like, I don't know. It seemed like less of an undertaking.
Less of a chore, right? To watch it.
Yeah. Not that watching movies is ever a chore, as Fahad. I don't ever put off watching a movie that I'm supposed to discuss on a podcast or anything like that, ever.
Some movies can feel like it's a chore.
So I was anticipating that this would be a chore.
You did? Okay. Did you know anything about it going into it?
No.
Okay.
I guess because of how little I knew about it or heard about it, and just seeing that it was nominated, kind of looked at the cast, preconceived notions of what I've seen before.
Sure.
And I was just like, this is going to be an Oscar bait movie. And I'm going to have to go sit down, and it's going to be a slow watch, and it'll be artsy.
Yeah. And you know what? I thought it was going to be overly sentimental with like a poster that it had and a name like The Father. I thought it was just going to tug at the heartstrings.
The little tagline, right?
Yeah. But it was anything but that, right?
Oh, it is sentimental, but not overly dramatic.
I was expecting, and this is like a movie that more or less came out of the UK, I think, right? So
yeah,
just based on the name and based on the cast and everything, I was expecting a movie about like familial politics in like the modern English family. That's what I thought it was about, like the father, like the patriarch, and all of that. So I didn't even bother watching a trailer, which I often do nowadays. I don't want to know anything going in, which is sometimes nice. But it was not a movie. I had no expectations for this movie, I guess. But even if I tried to figure out what it was, I was clearly off base. It has a lot of red flags for me. Like you said, like it just looks like an artsy movie and all of that. But on top of that, like it's a movie based on a play, which I never like. And it is being directed by the playwright. So like that's not a good combination for me historically. Like I expect to see a movie that's like pretty much a recorded play, and it's just not that imaginative. Because they try to stick to the format, which was made for a completely different like medium, right? Like, I mean, because Broadway plays, or not just Broadway plays, but plays in general, right, are a totally different art, and it's hard to just translate that over to film. So going in and not even saying, I'm not saying a thing about what I think about this movie. It's just not a movie I really wanted to watch. But I was like, hey, we watched all of the Best Picture nominees. Like, there's one left, and it's 90 minutes. Let's just do it, right? So that's kind of that is the horrible attitude I came into this movie with.
You say you don't like film movies, right? But or play movies. I can point to one at least that you liked. It was Incendies. That was adapted from a play.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And I think that's why it felt like overly tragic. Like it kept beating you with tragedy, right?
I'm pretty sure the playwright
yeah.
also worked on the screenplay for that film too. Like,
yeah.
Not like solo, but like as a team.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, that's a credit to that movie then, because I couldn't tell that it was based on a play, because they must have done a lot of reworking in order to build it up into, you know, the format that they wanted for a motion picture, right? Because of how sprawling that story is. You know, they go all over the world basically, right? They're traveling between so many different cities, so many different types of environments, which is not something that you typically see in a play, right? Because you have to constrain yourself to, you know, a few settings, maybe 4 if you're really stretching it, right?
Sure.
And so that's like comparing that to, I think, what do you guys think like the most famous movie based on a play is in the past, I don't know, 10 years? Like Fences comes to my head like immediately. And I think that's a movie that if you watch that, you can pretty much be like, this is based on a play because it's all taking place in one place and like there's a lot of monologues and all of that, you know? But I can't really think of another one off the top of my head right now.
Fahad, you're generally a fan of a lot of these movies in which are adapted from a play.
I am. These movies tend to be more low key, right? They're not anything that special, but they're special. Like one example, I think Doubt was also based on a play.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
And I think like one that everyone will know is Moonlight. Moonlight was based on a play as well.
Really? All right.
Yeah, the issue I think there, and the reason there's, I mean, I don't know if it's fair to say that because that's not it was written as a play. So there's a whole script out there. I don't know that it was ever like performed on a large scale, and I think so. Like eventually they just converted it into a motion picture instead. So that's kind of a weird example, but it actually was built, like the script was originally built to be a play.
Okay.
Yeah, so back to The Father. The director's name is Florian Zeller, and this is his directorial debut. And like Yusuf said, this is based off a play that he's written himself. You know, like, it looks like, I'm not that familiar with him. It looks like he's mainly known for his writing, as a writer, I should say. I mean, I'll say this, as a director, being his first full feature film, I thought he did a pretty phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he has a natural advantage in a way, right? Because he knows this material so well, right? At the same time, that can be a crutch because you have like one sort of interpretation or one sort of image built in your head about how you think something should be portrayed, right? And so that can also stand in your way. So it's a very difficult situation, especially, you know, first time you're really directing a film. But yeah, I guess it can just go both ways. I agree. I don't think it showed that he was a total rookie in this movie, is what I'll say.
Oh yeah, for
right.
sure.
And so I mean that's a good sign because he was obviously he got this film because he wrote the play for no other reason probably, right? That he was selected for it. I mean, I'm sure he was one of the motivating factors for getting this, you know, turned into a film as well. But like that's the reason he's on this. So yeah, I think he did at least a suitable job from that standpoint. You know, without getting into too much there.
It stars Anthony Hopkins and Olivia Colman, both actors that I'm familiar with. Olivia Colman most recently is probably known for The Favorite. I'm pretty sure she won Best Actress for that film. And Anthony Hopkins is Anthony Hopkins. I'm sure everyone knows him. Most recent thing, frankly, the most recent thing I can remember him from is Westworld.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Westworld. He was in The Two Popes, which was heavily nominated just 2 years ago, I think, right?
Yep.
So I mean, and like it's like you said, it's more that he's Anthony Hopkins. Like you know,
Yeah.
he doesn't need an introduction. And he's saying that he did the two popes. It's almost like that's like a fake way to describe him, because like there's so much more that he's done. You know what I mean? Not that that was a bad film, but he goes all the way back to what, like the 60s. So and he just, he has range, because he has done emblematic horror films, right? He's in The Silence of the Lambs,
Hannibal
of course,
Lecter.
right,
Yeah.
right, not rice. I'm hungry. And then he also has done all sorts of more dramatic roles, and he does TV shows, he does everything. He's all over the place.
So besides Anthony Hopkins and Olivia Colman in this movie, we also get Olivia Williams, Rufus Sewell, Imogen Poots, and Mark Gatiss. And they're all like well-known actors and actresses.
Yeah. Imogen Poots. I never can say her name right.
Shout out to Farhan.
Imogen Poots. No, we had Vivarium with her in it, right?
Yeah.
And First
Mark
Reformed
Gatiss.
also, right? Is she not in that?
First Reformed? No, that's not her.
That's not
man.
her, okay.
That's Amanda Seyfried.
Oh, right.
And Mark Gatiss, I know him from Sherlock.
Oh, that's where he's from. Oh my God, that was bothering
Yeah.
me so much. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so that solves that. I knew Imogen Poots. I couldn't place her while I was watching it either, but I knew we had discussed it because of her name, and the whole discussion about Imogen Heap and the OC and that whole nonsense. So I remembered having that discussion with Farhan. But yeah, Mark Gatiss I could not place. So Sherlock, he plays Sherlock's older brother in that, right?
Yep. As far as like a quick synopsis of the film, this film, The Father, it explores a situation, or I guess you could say a condition that Anthony, played by Anthony Hopkins, he's suffering from dementia, or some form of it. I guess they don't really go into details. Like it could be Alzheimer's for all we know, and it has passed like the early onset stage of the disease, and we're kind of watching Anthony quickly unravel mentally as the disease progresses. Olivia Colman plays the daughter. The daughter's name is Anne, and she's trying to keep it together for her father and for herself, and obviously that's the difficult situation that we find ourselves in, that we're placed into right away in this film. Like we mentioned, it's a pretty short movie, so it's not much of a setup. It's just that's what it is. All right. You guys think we can go ahead and go with our scores and wrap up the preview?
Let's do it.
All right. For narrative, I gave this a 75.
I gave it an 85.
90 for me.
For writing, I gave it a 90.
I gave it an 80.
I'm at an 80.
Acting, I gave a 95.
I'm at a 90.
95.
The themes, I went with 100.
I went with 80.
95.
Aesthetics, I went with a 95.
I went with 85.
And I'm at a 90.
All right, so we like this.
A little bit.
Yeah, we like this movie quite a bit. I am kind of surprised with some of how our scoring distribution is going here. I'm pretty low on narrative comparative to you guys. You guys, or Fahad, you're low compared to me and Yusuf on themes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're pretty close. Writing, I liked a little more than you guys. My tally comes out to 91. Yusuf is at the same, despite our slightly different scores. And Fahad is at an 82, so he still likes this movie quite a bit, but a little lower than us.
I liked this film. I was trying not to be obvious about it up to this point until we gave our scores, but man, I like this film. I was very, very pleasantly surprised.
In fact, I'll say, out of all the nominees, Yusuf, are you the only other one that has watched all of them with me?
I think so, probably.
I think this is my favorite of all of them. If it was me giving an award for like best feature film of last year, this probably would take it for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, up to this point, I've been like, I don't know what I think. I just kind of don't want Nomadland to run over everything. Now I have a clear favorite. Like, now I'm really hard for this movie. And that typically doesn't happen because, like we discussed, typically the movies that are in the best film category, I mean, the Academy has a specific viewpoint, and those are the movies that get the best film nominations typically, right? But so I usually don't have such a hard rooting interest as I do right now, and I'm super excited. I'm actually very excited to see what happens in the Oscars now.
Yeah, I mean, I know it didn't win at the Golden Globes, but I really hope it takes Best Picture at the Oscars. I mean, for me, The Father, Sound of Metal are my two favorites, Father being the favorite. And then after that, there's like a mix of, I like them all equally. Like Judas, Trial of Chicago 7, Minari. Mank and Nomadland are probably at the bottom for me. Promising Young Woman is above those two for sure. But yeah, this movie was great, man. Like, if there's a movie I was going to recommend to most people to watch, I know we keep saying like maybe last year was kind of a off year or a weak year because of the pandemic and all the lack of releases. I think this is, for me, the clear best movie I've seen in a long time.
And it's a clear recommendation because it's such a unique movie, right?
Yeah.
There aren't many movies out there that are so bold to put you in the headspace of a person under, like, losing his mind, falling into, progressively worse states of dementia.
Hey, you should just tell you about Memento.
That's him recovering his memories through the aids of photographs.
It's totally different though. Like, this movie is definitely a unique take. I'll say that. All right, everyone, that does it for our preview. We're gonna get into a lot of details and discussion about this film next week on the discussion episode. So we'll see you then.
Please watch this film, guys. Like, please. I'm actually begging you this time.
Like, yeah, you won't be disappointed. Like, I can't imagine someone being disappointed after watching this movie.
If you're gonna watch 3 episodes of crappy TV, that's how much time it'll take you. So there's really no excuse this time. I'll stop now, but I'm serious.
Next week. Peace.
Thanks for listening to this production of The Twice Over. If you enjoyed this episode, consider subscribing and sharing it with a friend. Want to see what your tally is? Check out thetwiceover.com. All the movies we've done are listed there, as well as what we're watching for the current week. Follow us at The Twice Over on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, where you can leave us any suggestions, feedback, or comments. And if you're about it, you can also support us on Patreon. The music you hear on this podcast is from Amerigo Gazaway. You can find his work on Bandcamp and Spotify.